I guess my question is, from your perspective, because you've been grinding a little bit longer than me, how have you found that evolution of the content as it's been accessed, and sort of the consumption, like the people's appetite for content being in such a fast, like football is such a fast moving sport, and YouTube is such a fast moving platform where you constantly have to stay on it, you have to be uploading constantly. How is that something else can just come out of nowhere and immediately change the landscape when you're aspiring to get somewhere, let alone, you have a clear path to making it?
Right, so I'm part of the generation that has really had the biggest influence, I would say, on TikTok. Maybe the people slightly younger than me. I have never installed it on my phone. I can only speak from my experiences from my girlfriend, from my friends who used it a lot of the time. And for me, I feel like with the way that it's consumed, okay, you sit down, you'll say, right, there's a Sidemen video, for example, there's an hour-long video. I will sit down and watch this Sidemen video, and I can come back to it at another point. So say I've got 20 minutes, I'll watch 20 minutes now, I'll watch 20 minutes later. And your body understands that it's a clock. Whereas TikTok is so short and so, I believe, fleeting, that they can be consumed for a huge amount of time, and you won't even realize. I think loads and loads of people say, I was sat on TikTok for 3 hours today just scrolling, and it's hypnotic. It really, really is. And that's why we as humans are really, especially now in this digital age, attracted to such instant gratification. And I feel like that is what TikTok provides. It's like, oh, haha, funny, quick, funny, let's move on with our lives, because everyone's very busy now. I even went on Netflix the other day on my phone, and there's their little TikTok-y equivalents. I personally don't understand it. I would much rather watch a whole thing and dedicate some time to that. But people I genuinely lose a sense of it when they're just scrolling through TikTok, and I just think that's fair. That's why it's so big. It's because of the need for instant gratification.
So how does that affect your palette when it comes to making? Because I can't lie, when I've evolved like you have. Originally I thought a short video was 30 minutes. That was a mistake. You get, but then you discover podcasts, and you go, okay, well, these guys go for as long as they want, so long as they've got a point, so long as they can go in different directions. And you go, okay, I need to slim this down. Okay, I'll slim it down to 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay, that's fine, because that's, most people can justify a 5 to 10 minute video. And then, like I say, TikTok comes along, and like you've correctly pointed out, it's one of those things where you can say to, hey, you got 15 seconds, right? You got 15 seconds? Here you go. Yeah. Watch this. Check this out. Oh, by the way, if you like that one, I have another 15-second clip and about 20 other more. You can you like it, you can just switch by it. Does that influence, especially as a football writer, because how you're already trying to condense a tremendous amount of information, insight, and analysis into. Not only are you trying to translate it for the layman, you're trying to satisfy the experts, you're trying to make sure that the fans are satiated with the fandom and the gossip and sort of this more salacious stuff. How do you condense it down even further into? So you got 15 seconds to talk about the Liverpool game. It were rubbish, and then you move on. You know what I mean? How do you contend with that?
As I said to you earlier, the way the people get big on football YouTube is to have clippable moments, right? And that's sort of the reason why TikTok is so big. Again, some people may not want to see what people actually genuinely think of the game. They just want to see the angry moments, the rages, blah, blah, blah. As a writer, I go on two ends of the scale. So I work for Sport Bible, which is reputable for being, this clickbait thing. And I mean, you'd be foolish to deny it. It genuinely is, and that's how they make their money. And they're a multi-million-pound company, that Bible. I can imagine they're a lot bigger than that, actually. And you can't. So I have to tailor my instincts to basically gratify that, because effectively it pays the bills, and it's a very, very big skill, I think, to get someone to click on an article. I think people slate it as a really negative thing, but I think it's a very big skill for a journalist to do, because literally that's your well-being at the end of the day. And then I also I founded a newsletter recently, co-founded a newsletter which I wanted to do because it focused on more long form writing. Don't make a penny out of that, but I love it. I get so much more gratification out of it personally, which that's the perfect example of the two ends of the scale. You've got the clickbaity short form articles, about 300 words max. And then I recently wrote I did an interview with a former Premier League assistant referee about the appointment of Howard Webb. Absolutely love the piece. 2,000 words made. So if I did a 2,000 words equivalent of Sport Bible articles, that'd be what, 6 or 7? That's like a day's work in 2,000 words. It's all about balancing what we actually need and gratifying our own lives as well. To make sure that's fine. But yeah, it's a really interesting one, and if you're not actually inside the mind of someone who loves short form content, I personally don't. I don't think you do. Then I don't think you can truly understand it.
You're 100% right. And again, for clarification, I've been where you've been in terms of the not my baby, because again, it's weird how many parallels I found in doing research on you in a totally non-creepy and totally not in any way excessive way. But anyway, point being is that I've appeared on multiple channels for multiple formats, doing different subjects, and it's weird how it affects you, because like you say, sometimes, I mean, I don't know about you, but when I start, you go, I'm really happy for the opportunity, I can't wait to get started. And then after a few videos, when you've had a few conversations with people or a few responses where it's like, oh man, they're not really appreciating what I'm doing. It's more a lot of changing and swapping up things. But what I want to know about you is that, again, in doing research in a totally non-creepy, certainly not excessive way.
Make it creepy. I don't mind.
It's creepy. It's one of those things where you go, okay, this guy right here, this Chris fella, he's not only extremely articulate in the videos, despite the fact that I would say you had every incentive to kind of dumb it down and become this, loud, bombastic individual, as most of football Twitter and most of football YouTube is. But you have a tremendous passion for not journalism, I guess, but for writing, again, the skill of articulation and literature. And what I want to know is, how do you... Well, where did that start, first of all? Was that intrinsic from when you were young? And how do you, again, maintain that passion in an age where, like something like The Athletic, for instance, I have to make a concerted effort to read, even though I love it. I love The Athletic. I think the articles and the people that read and write, that write for it are magnificently talented. But like you say, the hustle and bustle of modern day life is, I've got to sit down and read this, man. Like, this is going to take time, and I got bills to pay, brother. Don't know if you know, those fuel prices and those electric bills, it's becoming a bit of a racket.